Let's consider how to move your figure. Here, let me assume that you have already downloaded the zip file proj2 zip for this project. Let's unzip it. Okay, and in order to move this folder to an appropriate place, let's activate the Finder. Just click Finder in your dock menu. I'm not sure what kind of screen will open up on your PC, but I think at least you can find this house icon, which is your home directory. If you cannot find it here, please go back to exercise number 1 for necessary preparation. Anyway, please click this to open your home directory. Here, you should be able to find a folder named CS. Just double-click to go into this folder or the room CS. Then drag this folder and move it to the room CS. Okay. Let me also click this to see its inside. Here we have many program files. Note that your downloaded one does not contain such many files. I put some extra programs for demonstration. So let's run some programs. For this, let's activate this terminal. Click Terminal in your dock menu. If not there, please click Launchpad, and in Others, you can find Terminal. Okay. So this is the terminal where you can communicate with your PC. Currently, we are in the home directory. Recall that entering ls shows the folders in this home directory. Okay. As you see, there is the CS folder. So we'll go into the CS room now. That is, type cd space CS. Return. Okay. Again, by ls, you can check what is inside the room CS. You see, we have a proj2 that has been just moved to the room CS. So let's go inside proj2 by cd space proj2. Again, by ls, you should be able to find some programs, for example, smile.rb. The smile.rb is the file of the program we just discussed. Let's run this smile.rb. Smile.rb. You see, it displays a smiley face. Did you notice that this number is continuously changing from 0, 1, 2, and so on until 9. So the figure shows up on the screen for 10 times. Let me execute it once again. You see, though a bit quickly, the smiley face has appeared many times, in fact 10 times. Now, how can we move this figure? Actually, some of you may wonder what does it mean by move. Let me show one example. Just ls again. Now you see we have another program, smile0.rb. Please note that this is not in your downloaded files. Let me run this program. Smile0.rb. You see, it seems that the smiley face moves to the right. Why don't we adjust the screen size a bit narrower so that only one figure appears on the screen. Then execute it again. Right? The movement is more visible. It seems the face moves off of the screen. We can give this movement by using some simple arithmetic operation. Let me give you some hint. As you see by the ls command, we have another program. Let's see, smile2.rb. Okay, let's look at it by the code editor. Execute code editor in your dock menu. Well, if you cannot find it, please use the Finder and then search for the code editor from Applications here. So let's start it. Now, from the window of the code editor, use Open in the file menu. Okay, open. Then double-click this home icon for the home folder, and then double-click CS and PROJ2. Then you can find smile.rb, and then double-click it. Okay, here it is. For reference, let us also open smile.rb. So for this, just use a new window, okay, in the file menu, and then open, okay, smile.rb. Okay, this is smile.rb. Okay, these two programs. Okay, you see these two programs are similar. Both programs use the same integers and they store them into 9 variables. Then at each iteration of this while loop, okay, this and this, the contents of these 9 variables are shown on the screen by these puts command. Okay. Then here is the difference. Okay. So the difference is this part. Okay. After the puts command, the value of each variable is divided by 10, okay, which is again stored in the same variable. Roughly speaking, these numbers are divided by 10 at each iteration. What sort of movement is created by these divisions? By the way, this program iterates 30 times instead of 10 times. Okay. Anyway, let's execute smile2.rb. You see, the smiley face is erased each time until it vanishes, or more precisely, all numbers become 0. Okay? Why did it happen? Recall that the result of the division over integers is rounded as an integer. So for example, by dividing this number by 10, we rarely have something 0.5. But the last 0.5 is rounded down to make it integer. So by dividing by 10 is equivalent to erase the last digit. So at each iteration, the last digit of these 9 numbers is erased, and the figure gets smaller and smaller until all values become 0. Let's see it again. Please focus on the last number. Okay? You see the number gets shorter each time. That's a process. In some sense, this gives us motion. Well, but the figure just disappears, which is not so interesting. An interesting animation will be if the face escapes from the screen like previously, or new face enters. So if you change this calculation a little bit, it will work well. So please think about it. If you cannot think of it, please see the next session. Here, before closing this session, let me show you some interesting examples for your reference. Okay? These example programs were created in this course by students of Tokyo Institute of Technology. The first one is a program called apple.rb. Let me execute it. Okay. We see that the apple falls apart. Okay. So by ls, we can find another program. The second one is sheep.rb. Let's run it. You see, sheep are moving on the screen. Please use a variety of pictures like this to make a variety of movements.